Welcome back. I'm so glad that you're mature enough to handle the content of this series because I am here to give you a brain transplant. I'm 39 years old. Exactly 21 years ago, I graduated high school, May of 1999. I have a lot of life experience that I'm eager to share with you that no one else showed up at my door and said, hey, here's some things you need to know. Well, I am doing that for you. No one did it for me. I'm doing that for you. I'm eager to share with you, and you're actually in the middle of my series as far as my the list I created, the top 10 list of masculine traits. Basically, how can you be more attractive and valuable to society? Because out of high school, it's not about your looks, other than that you do your best to kind of dress nice without spending money on it, without spending a lot of money, and that you take care of yourself physically. But beyond that, it's really 10 things that go beyond something so superficial like high school and popularity and all that silly stuff. So number 5 on my list, that a man is decisive. He can make a quick decision, even when it's a tough one. And many times on this channel, I have referenced The Office. I have referenced Michael Scott, as well as Andy Bernard. They're largely the same character in certain ways. I'm currently going through the show the third time, episode for episode, from the beginning with my wife. And it's just so obvious that so much of the comedy of Michael Scott is he places his identity and his confidence level based on his perceptions of others. Do other people like me? How can I earn their respect? Instead of basing it on his own identity, which is what this whole series is about. So it's hilarious to see a man who's in his mid-40s, Michael Scott, and then eventually Andy Bernard, who I think when the show started, he was in his early 30s. But both of these men should know better. They should already know that it's not about getting people to like you as it's some kind of popularity contest like it is in high school. That the rules change when you're an actual man. And ironically, being decisive is one of the most important things as a man. Being able to make those decisions. See, I've said many times before, I have made many mistakes in my life. I've had many failures and I've had many successes, but I've also taken many risks. I've made many decisions not knowing the answer and thought whatever the consequence is, I'm going to move forward with that commitment to that. Or if I can change it, I will. Being decisive. When you look at Michael Scott and Andy Bernard on The Office, when you watch Netflix, almost every episode that features them, which by default is every single episode because at least one of them's on every episode, what you're going to see is comedy and a grown man not being decisive. And that's actually spoiler alert, that's the tragedy in Andy Bernard's character. By the very end of the final episode, basically it's a tragedy with him because now he's 38 years old and he really hasn't found what he's looking for. Unlike, just like Bono from U2. He hasn't found what he's looking for. Whereas Michael Scott did. Michael Scott finally got it figured out. Andy Bernard never did. Society rewards and judges you based on you being decisive. For my career as a recruiter, my boss says all the time, be willing to make decisions on the spot because a lot of other people are too afraid to or don't want to. And so I remember learning that when I first started working my job, and I apply that all the time. I ultimately make decisions for people. I ask them on their opinion on it. Will this work for you? But basically, a lot of times I'm letting them off the hook because now they don't have to make a decision, especially if it's a tough one. So being decisive is very important. It's very masculine. It's very attractive. So it's a matter of, yes, be decisive, but also be willing to ask for people's input in that, knowing that most of the time, they're going to just be relieved that you made a decision. Your comments belong right here.